Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day, the channel that brings you all the latest news, rumours, signings, speculation, talk about Glasgow Rangers. And if you want that, if you need that in your life, you need to hit that sub, ring that notification bell. If you set the notification to all, you'll never miss out on any of the content. And also, you can, if you like the video, that will help too. So let's talk about Abdallah Sima, who, as Four Lads tweeted out last night, and like I've always said, Four Lads are one of those organisations that seem to have the inside track on what is happening at the club due to their links with the club. This is what they tweeted out as now widely reported. Loan deal for Abdallah Sima is agreed with the player, set to be announced towards the end of the working week, subject to a medical. Everything is agreed, barring any last-minute complications. It is a confirmed go. So, what are Rangers getting in Abdallah Sima? What type of player are they getting? There's been doubts obviously about him due to his form since he went to Brighton. Roberto De Zerbi has said that he isn't in part of his plans. Obviously sent him out on loan to Stoke. He didn't do great there due to injury. He then went to Angers last season, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story of his time in France that makes him look a lot better than the stats may actually indicate. And look, stats only tell you so much. Raw stats, goals, assists, they only tell you so much. You got to look beyond that. You got to look at the actual whole player, how he plays, what he does in the game, how he influences the game. And also, if we go back to his Slavia Prague days, when he was at Prague, he scored 16 goals in the season he had with Slavia. He averaged one goal every 2 games for Slavia Prague, and looked an absolute quality player when Rangers played against Slavia, and in Slavia's games. And at one point, was even linked with Arsenal and Manchester United in the English Premier League. That's how highly he was rated. So, if I think Rangers can get him back to being the player he was at Slavia, Rangers are getting a very, very good player, a very talented player indeed. But what are we getting with Sima? What sort of player are we getting? Well, we're getting something we haven't really got at the club. Since Ryan Kent left. I know we've got Matondo and Sakala, but they're very raw to me. And Matondo and Sakala to me are just squad players. They're not starters. They're not the starting talent like Abdallah Sima is. He's a player who can run at pace. He's a player who can dribble past people. He's a player who can, really go at the opposition. And we all know that defenders are scared to death of pace, and Sima certainly has that speed. So that's something in that wide area, in that forward area, we haven't got at the moment. Cholaki is not quick if he stays. Obviously, Kamar Roof, injury prone and not really speedy. Lammers is definitely not a speedster. He's not someone who's going to run in behind and cause problems over the top. If Danilo arrives, then yeah, he could be someone who does that. If we do sign Cyril Dessers, which I think will be a disaster because I think he's useless, he hasn't got speed either to run in behind. So, he is something we have not got at the club. Now, I'm hearing from my sources that Sima is a loan to buy deal, and Rangers are not agreeing to any loans that are not loans to buy. They'll only bring in players who they've got an option to try and purchase at the end of that loan agreement. Now, before any of you say, well, the problem is he's worth 7 million now. If he has a good season, then he'll be worth even more. Well, one thing I'm going to sort of put in as a bit of a caveat on that. After the end of this season, he will have only 1 year remaining on his contract. Now, the issue, of course, there is the fact that if you've only got 1 year, you are not going to get max value for your players because no team is going to want to pay the max price for them when they've got 1 year left, because all they're going to do is wait till the end of the season. Then the player is available on a free. So I think if there is a loan to buy, it's not going to be for 7 million. It will be substantially less than that. And also the fact that De Zerbi has said that he's not part of his plans indicates that he doesn't want the player. Therefore, again, puts him at a weaker bargaining point for that player. So like I said, Sima, he's quick, he can dribble at speed, he's very flexible in terms of his positioning. He can play out wide, he can play as a central striker, he can play wide left, wide right, favours the wide right side. But certainly someone who can play as that split wide striker role. Now, there's a lot of people on Twitter who seem to, they talk about, well, Rangers need a number 9, we need an out-and-out 9. I don't think that Michael Beale will play with an out-and-out 9, and look, I've been laughed at for that and told a bit of time I'm clueless by Rangers, even by Rangers fans, which really should just sort of beg the question: are they really Rangers fans? But it's doubtful that Beale will do that. If you look at Beale's past history, if you look at the way we played towards the end of the season, if you look at the way that Rangers employed. When Beale was employed the formation, when Beale was picking towards the end of the season more in I think the style he's going to play. split wide strikers was what he used, and he doesn't use an out-and-out 9. That's not his style, and that's why Cholak wasn't used. That's why Morelos, I don't think, was used as much. He wants split wide strikers, quick guys who can cause problems down the sides of defences, and I think that's where he sees Sima, Danilo, Lammers even to some degree, perhaps him dropping in behind those two strikers, but I don't think he's going to play with an out-and-out 9. That's why Sima kind of fits into that system. And the fact that Sima has that flexibility to play as a central striker or as a wide man is again fitting in with that hybrid player that Michael Beale seems to be going for this summer. If we break down his stats from League One and we look at how he played last season, in terms of successful dribbles in attacking areas of the field, he was second in Ligue 1. So he was actually ranked second in Ligue 1. Remember, this is a league that contains Monaco, Paris Saint-Germain, and the players that obviously those two teams have very talented players. In terms of successful dribbles in the final third of the pitch, he was third ranked in the league, and he was ranked behind Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. So to be the third player behind Mbappe and Messi in a struggling team, does that not show a little bit of the quality that this guy genuinely does have? Mbappe and Messi, two of the finest players in world football at this moment in time. In terms of successful dribbles across the whole pitch, he was third again behind some PSG players. Again, showing the quality this guy has. He runs at pace when he dribbles as well. He goes past people, with his pace and his skill. And like I said, he is something very different to what Rangers already have in this squad. Now, at Angers, he was employed mainly as a striker. Now, for you, obviously, I know what the comment here is going to be. It's going to be, well, he only scored 6 goals in his time at Angers, and that for a striker is not great. True, very true. But let's look at the facts here. Angers struggled massively last season and were relegated. They are a poor team. They scored only 33 goals in the whole of last season and conceded 81. So that shows you how often they were under the cosh. They were a very poor team last season and really did not cope very well at all with the French Ligue 1. In terms of creation of chances as well, he was ranked 9th in the league in terms of creation of chances for others, again in a struggling team. He's often commented some of the other things that have come out of his scouting report. He does not give the ball away cheaply, which is obviously something that Rangers want, given the amount of possession that we do have as a team. He's also, due to his height, very good in the air, very good at winning aerial duels too. So again, another very big positive for the club. You've got to also look at it in terms of the fact that the type of player that he is, in terms of the possession that he likes, the ability to run with the ball, to dribble with the ball, doesn't give it away, retains possession well. He's coming to a club that has a lot of possession of the football, a team that that will dominate games and create a lot of chances, and a lot more chances than he ever got at Angers or at Stoke. So he's coming to a club where he's going to get the opportunity to add to his goals tally. I think he will score at least 15 to 20 this season, with the chances that he will be given for Rangers, obviously if he's chosen to start by Michael Beale. You've got to add into that as well. In terms of Rangers as well, we often face that low block, don't we? And we need that bit of skill to unlock the door. And Sima seems to, be that type of player that has the ability to dribble, to go past people, to create that little opening. Something that will be needed, I think, in this upcoming title race, especially against those teams that are going to sit back, put 2 solid banks of 5 behind the ball, and try and defend for their lives at Ibrox or even away from home at times. So Sima has that pace, I think, and that skill to unlock the door. So again, the type of player that we need at the club if we're going to obviously put in a serious challenge for 56, which I believe we will do in this upcoming season. Well, that's the sort of player we are getting. And look, personally, after doing a lot more research into him, looking into him as a player, I'm more excited about seeing him pull on the blue jersey. That's that side, isn't it? The blue jersey this coming season, and really impress for the club. Well, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of the signing of Abdallah Sima on loan. Like I say, it looks like a loan to buy as well, which I think is going to be great. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you can smash that like for me, that would be absolutely fantastic too. And if you've enjoyed the content, please hit the sub, ring the notification bell, and give the video a like. And always remember, for me, we are the people.